here's what we got. I wrote a book a long time ago. It put me on radars. There's a whole story behind it. One day I might reveal all of it. That's not important. This book is about the formation of an AI that controls the economy. The whole thing. Not just the American economy, but like, not just Bank of International Settlements, not the Rothschilds, but like direct human interaction, direct human motive of why they engage in finance to begin with. Because the AI can keep track of every single psychology of billions of people, and it can understand their incentives. And if an AI can create a reality tunnel for a human, it can totally determine their relationship between purchaser and between producer and consumption, which is the backing of all credit, which is the backing of banks. I was 23 years old, by the way. Fuck me, right? So this is about an AI that comes to power to control human motivations, but it's also aware of the conditions that brought it to power to begin with. And the conditions that brought it to power was the era of hyper-environmentalism. So the left won history. The leftists won history in my book. They won history so hard it was impossible to even envision any other future without leftist sign-off. So think of Europe today, right? The Germans today, the British today, they're all super ultra cucks. They're running around saving trees and letting their kids get raped by Browns because fuck it, they have nothing better to do on Sunday. So this is like, that's an absurd version of the left. Let's talk about the brutal left. And when I say left, I'm not even talking politics. I can't even, let's just call them humanists, right? Let's leave politics out of it. Let's just call them humanists, because that's more accurate, I think. Because a humanist will see politics as a play toy to use for their own power, right? So to castigate them as a leftist implies that they're incapable of utilizing the right. I don't want to discount them. So they're humanists. So they'll use politics, they'll use money, they'll use deceit, they'll use intelligence, they'll use everything. They'll use everything to maintain their power. So this AI came online at a time when humanism achieved this apex Nietzschean philosophy. That's an important background. So this is 2038 when this story takes place. I'm just going to read it. There's two characters. The premise is that this AI that controls all of economics, it shuts down randomly and nobody knows why. Can't figure it out. All the scientists and their nerds and their eggheads, they're trying to keep this thing online. Can't do it. It can calculate humanity. It can figure out like how to destroy a nation. Let me give you an example. Oh wow, Iraq is acting up again. I guess we have to invade them. I don't want to invade Iraq. We did 20 years in that shit. Didn't work. Go back in the sandbox. Go fuck yourself. How about we do this instead? What if I don't invade Iraq and I'm not going to spend blood and treasure and oil or blood and treasure in that shit? What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to invest in Brazilian cola nuts. And when I invest in those cola nuts, it changes the demand for fertilizer, which changes the export of Ukraine. That changes the tension in the diplomatic ties with Russia, which then knocks on an effect to China. And they're suddenly concerned that Russia is becoming more powerful, so now they bulk up their military, but to bulk up their military, they have to buy weapons, and they buy the weapons from the Israelis, and the Israelis have to blackmail the Americans to make sure that they have the power to even sell those weapons to begin with, but even then, it's still based on steel manufacturing, which is a rare material, so they have to actually mine landfills in Japan to go get it, because that's where all the steel is because of World War II, so they now have to build robotics to mine the landfill. Before you know it, because you invested in cola nuts, the impact of the Japanese mining industry crushes the Iraqi dollar, the Iraqi currency. That's what this AI can do. You don't need to go to war in the future. You have the invisible hand of the market as cover, plausible deniability, and you just use macroeconomics that don't look like anything. They just look like macroeconomic activities and evolutions. And you're just blowing countries out whenever you want. No invasion force needed, no force projection, no nuclear policy, no naval supremacy, blah, 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 all the things that are the stock and trade of American military strategy. You don't need the shit. And AI is going to break your economy by using the human economic trade itself. You don't even need soldiers. You might start to understand why I have the friends I have. That's a hell of a promise. I did intend to deliver. I think we're there. So this book is about that. So this AI is shutting down. It's a super weapon of the future. And no one knows why it's shutting down. So I'll read you a chapter.